Welcome to Leo for Leos. This is a channel featuring intuitive tarot readings for the astrological sign of Leos, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm a Leo as well, so this is why the channel is called Leo for Leos. Cross watchers and fellow readers are welcome. However, I do want to give you a heads up that I read the cards as I see them and not always the way it's done traditionally. All right, let's get started. This is for the month of February in the year 2000. Whoa. Right away, huh? Nope, not even playing around. Just start off right. With the Ace of Cups, huh? Wow. We got another one that wants to come out here. Healing, okay. You can always fast forward the shuffling portion if you desire. I also read the cards upright. I also read the cards in the upright position. Oh boy, they're really coming out fast today. They want to chunk up a lot today too. Okay. So I'm going to read them, and I'm actually going to pull these in 5, 4, 3. Ooh. Ooh. There's like a very, like, the energy is very fast. Very much like, oh, come on, let's hurry up and do this. It's very interesting. Never had that before. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Need to give it a little space between. Five, 4, 3, 5, this right out. These two cards, man. That's Leo all year round doing this thing. Okay. So, let's see. The ones that I'm most curious about is this, what looks like a decision or impasse in the road. This looks like it's all gone. This is like past stuff. Went to the past. Talk about this waiting around here and why are Leo's waiting. Very interesting. Pull one more card for a little bit of clarity. Okay, that makes sense. Chariot. Let's focus in on the Chariot. Okay. Alright, so let's get it started. So the Ace of Cups. Emotional happiness and fulfillment is what Leos are really after. This is on their mind. They're trying to achieve this happiness, not just in the terms of money and career and having status in a community, but actually true happiness from within. And having that cup runneth over feeling happen to them all the time. It's it's a little bit strange to articulate this, but it isn't a fetish or a weird thing. This is just like happiness. Leos want happiness. Whether or not it's actually something that some Leos are experiencing or not is irrelevant. They're still after a certain amount of happiness that they're not quite getting yet. They're not quite there yet, and there's a lot of uncertainty as to whether or not they'll ever get that. And maybe it may be just a mental shift of the way to think about things, and a shift mentally to see things in a happier frame of thought. And there are quite a few people who are pushing back on that. But ultimately, this is the goal of the Leo, is emotional happiness this year. When are we going to feel this happiness? When is this happiness going to start to actually appear? It's a question that's on the minds of a lot of Leos. Okay? Intuition is one of the things that's really going to be helpful for Leos, but also diving deeper into a spirituality. Which spirituality, which faith, which mode of mysticism you'll be diving into is your own personal choice. It's about lining up with the divine, lining up your consciousness to a higher power. And that actually will be able to help a lot of Leos feel more confident, more secure, more happier in their daily lives. They'll have some insight into the workings of the world that they don't normally have access to. They're going to be looking at the world differently because of this attunement into this divine source. Whatever spiritual means that you have of coping and getting by, definitely dig deeper into those, because it will help to alleviate some of the feelings from the past. And the past is really haunting, I would say, haunting Leos, because of this a prior feeling of being trapped, and a prior feeling of being left, or even having to leave yourself from a situation that was not good for you, having to leave that situation and go out on your own. And if you haven't done so, if you are in a position in which you really should be grabbing your belongings, what you can carry, and leave with what you have, and yes, you lost 8 or 7 years, you gotta just take what you have with you and leave. It's really like the chance for doing that really had passed a long time ago. It's still, though, I believe, never too late. It's never too late to give yourself the present of of leaving a situation that doesn't serve you in the highest form. Now, does it mean like walk off your job without a plan? No. Please have a plan whenever you do whatever you do. Just make sure you have a good plan in front of you. But the universe is going to be talking to you right now in February, the aches and the desires to want to leave whatever situations that don't serve you is going to be rekindled if you haven't done so already, if you haven't left situations that don't work for you, if you haven't move forward on taking the first step to the next big opportunities of your life. So that's coming out to me. It's saying, yes, judgment. It's time for you to make a judgment. It's time for you to make a judgment on what's right in your life, what's going to serve you. There's a lot of talk about what doesn't serve you, what does serve you. It's everywhere. Because in order for new, wonderful things to come into your arms, to come into your hands, the old has to go. The old it has to leave. So there's nothing upsetting about this. This is all refreshing, wonderful energy. There's an awakening. And then this is all about the feeling of something brand new and exciting happening in your world. One thing I have to say is that this also really stood out to me from last month. The Fool being kind of that fresh, doughy-eyed young kid, kind of ready to go out there and play. It doesn't matter what your age is. There is a fresh excitement about what's coming. Excuse the sounds from outside. I live right next to a train station and the police station as well, so forgive all the noise that's going on out there. All right, so let's move on. We've got the Four of Swords, the healing card, the sign of healing. So even though there's all this excitement here, there's also a feeling of, yes, I need to take some time out to heal from my past. I have to heal. And the healing portion, again, the spirituality, it's really going to come in place. Meditation is going to be very, very important for those Leos who already meditate. That is going to be one of your most treasured and most valuable asset. For those who are into crystals and also do tarot readings, you're going to be presented with a lot of answers, a lot of things, questions, a lot of scenarios that will get your mind kind of churning and think about the way things are being seen in your eyes. I'm getting more like perspective. That's the word I want to use, is perspective. Like your perspective might change on life, living, the way you treat people, the way you view others. How can I apply this to heal myself from the past? The past wants to show up. There's another segment here where the past wants to show up again. It's going to be a churning in your mind because there's an incredible sense of something that we were talking about last month in January, was definitely not wanting to make the same mistakes of the past. So yeah, it will like bring back the past. The past will be trying to rear its head, but it's going to be your perspective on how you look at the past, how you turn the past, how you flip the past on its head and actually make it like a service to you. How do you take something that happened in the past that wasn't great and turn it to your advantage? Like, hey, if that weird, horrible thing didn't happen, I wouldn't be doing this incredible thing right now, or I wouldn't know this incredible friend right now. It's not easy to do. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not easy to do because, yeah, that bad things should not be happening to people. Okay? Just going to put that out there. So it doesn't, looking at, but here's something. Here's something that a lot of people don't. Looking at a situation that was bad, that happened, in a positive light doesn't negate the fact that what happened was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong. It doesn't negate it. If anything, it turns things around. So no longer are you the victim. You're now standing on top of the mountain. You know, you're the one in charge now. You're taking back what was supposed to be yours by turning it around. And you can. You really can. It's about the way you're seeing, the way the past. It's about the way the past is being seen, as being the perspective of the past. Are you using it to your advantage? Queen of Pentacles. Very much this is about growth. So this time that you're spending healing is going to lead to this incredible growth period. This incredible growth period that is going to be very nourishing to your soul in such a way. It renews you. It renews you. And we have this card which can sometimes look like you're crying over spilled milk. And that's why I was saying you're looking back into the past. There's another proof of going back into the past. But it's not just you're not just crying over spilled milk anymore. You're assessing. Like, all right, so that didn't work, but you know what? I think this plan over here will work. There's a bit of it, like, you know, dwelling into it a little bit more. But still, there's a bit of smartness behind this. The reason why I say that is because you got this Queen of Pentacles here. She's smart as a whip. So you're not just looking back. It brings this clarity of vision. Like now it's so clear to you. Like, oh, I know what I have to do now. But if you thought you knew what you had to do, and maybe you floundered a little bit in the middle of January, last part of January, it doesn't matter because you're going to reassess everything and there's going to be more clarity created. more clarity created. And the clarity is going to create even more excitement and newness. You can't wait to jump in. And yes, you've been through a lot, but you're not down. You're not out of the fight. You're ready to, look, you've got a lot going for you. And this might even be like, if this is all coming from the past, it's all talking about the past here. Leaving something for something better. And the timing being all a part of it. The timing. And I had somebody say something, leave a comment about timing. They were upset because every reading had talked about timing. And timing is a very interesting thing because the time is always now. The time is always now. There seems to be some trepidation about moving forward. Even though you're excited about it, there's still like, it's maybe because you don't have all the information you need. But it should be, this isn't really a time for launching, but this is a time for implementing your plans. You did a lot of planning in January and in December as well. So really implementing, you've got a lot of potential. You've got a lot of potential, and really the time for moving forward is now. Really now. You can heal during, what I'm saying, 5 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes, 5 to 30 minutes in the morning for meditation. That's great. You don't need to take a few, days and days and days. But I would say, this is a card of incredible potential that's not being used. There's a crazy amount of talent here, and craftsmanship, and like genius. Okay, there's literally with these two cards together is the sign of a genius. It's the sign of a genius. Chariot and this, genius. So much potential. But a genius that has been stopped in their tracks. A genius with limitations to what they can do. Not because, they're not smart enough to do it. They're just not given the opportunity. But I got a nice card here for you. The Knight of Swords. It's like, go get it. Go get it, Leos. Go get it. The time for chilling out and the time for worrying about the past is over. It's over. Time to get a move on. For those Leos who do that, there's a lot of emotional mastery there. It's still a struggle. You're still sensitive. You still get upset at certain things. You still get triggered, but with the Queen of Cups, you keep going. You don't let that stuff stop you. But at night, though, you still worry. Still worry. And I think the worrying is mostly because maybe you feel like you don't have enough information, or you don't, there's like something lacking. Hey, you know what card is coming up next? Page of Pentacles. This is the card of the student. Study what you need to study. You're afraid of taxes? Study taxes. You're afraid of technology. You don't know your stuff. Go ahead and dive into. Go to YouTube and type in how to do X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is, the answer's most likely within inside of you, but just study. It makes it so much easier. The competition has you scared. You're afraid of the people that are doing it well, that are prominent in your industry. The universe is sending me specific messages for you to celebrate. Okay? Celebrate your wins. There's a lot to be thankful for. Practice gratitude. Appreciate your friends and family. Count your blessings. There may be an offer coming in. It could be romantic. This could also be a romantic ideal or a romantic kind of ideology. And this is not bad. This is actually not bad. It's like a lofty kind of dreaming. And like, oh, it's sort of like Cinderella hoping that she can go to the ball, right? It's a hope, and it's sort of a dream and a wish. But the magician is here to make it happen, and that is manifestation. This is the only magician in the world that is the most powerful magician is yourself. Is yourself. You can manifest so much. And this like lofty dreams that you have, that maybe it seems like maybe they look like, a snowball's chance in hell of happening, could actually happen. Could actually happen. Then we have the working man's card here, working hard on a project, killing it, okay? Getting things done, and not too far from completing it too. Not too far from completing. And if it's an ongoing project, you've got a lot of them stacked up already. But then we get this. I'm just getting insecurities all over the place. Insecurities. Looking at how bad things are. Not being focused. Being kind of like, but I want to do this other thing and this other thing. I'm never going to get it all done. That's a disaster. Heading down a path of disaster is diving too deeply into your insecurities. Look at them. They're right there, right? Insecurities. I can't make it without help. I can't do this all by myself. I'm alone. I'm lonely. I don't have enough. It's just so much of this Look at these two. Look at how there's so much black in this card. And in here too. And then we have this card. Oh, you can't see it, but the Tower card has a lot of black in it. And then we have this card where the actual figure is in black. It's coming from within inside you. So this insecurity, this fuzzy kind of thought pattern, I want this, I want this, I want this, that has to stop. There must be clarity and stay on your goal. This is the card of the golden path. The prize goes to those who stay on the path. The prize goes to those who stay on the path. Create a path and stay on it, no matter how you feel. No matter if you're upset, no matter if you're unsure, no matter what's going on, just set yourself up a path and stick to it. And stick to it. So we have this feeling here of like wanting to be generous, wanting to give to the world. And that makes sense with all this potential that you have and that's not being used. You want to help people. And so this kind of puts you in this position where you're very you're not happy, you're unhappy about things, but you're also like, I've got to come up with a conclusion or a solution. What is the answer? And you may think that the answer is about abandoning certain friendships, and this is really what you should be doing. Should be strengthening your relationships, especially the ones that are broken. I mean, if there's someone who is really destructive and toxic, you can't fix that. I mean, I don't suggest trying to fix everybody who is broken. I think there's a chance that you can get through to some people. If you see that opportunity, that it's possible, go on ahead and try to do so. I'm not gonna say that you can't, but there's some people it's just about misunderstandings, and they're still good people. Try to mend relationships. Try to strengthen your relationships with them. And I think from that, you may feel a sense of victory. It may be a sense of victory from that, because there's nothing like mending or having a good hug out with your good friend, with a good bestie, and or meeting up with someone who you really care about and just catching up with them and sharing hugs and smiles and laughter. There's also this is very interesting, because this reading today really wants to talk about relationships, your relationship with the past, and not so much your career money. But after saying that, we get this card, which is like, watch out for being so generous as maybe you might want to be financially. You should be looking after your money and making sure that you're not overspending and overindulging. Okay? That's a serious thing there. And again, remain strong, dealing with other people. There may be a tendency to, like, just forget about certain things that you've promised yourself that you wouldn't do. You will be asked to stand your ground. Like, there's no part of this friendship that can live on or continue on without you asserting your Leo. Okay, you can't. It doesn't work without you being yourself. So that is a very important piece to whatever friendships you have. As well, there is a lot of thought about yourself in the matter, like being independent, having your own making sure to have your own identity, that you're not just saying yes to everything that they are doing, or are like, oh, they believe in a certain thing. Well, you can oppose them if you want to, because you're your own person. And there may even be a desire to go somewhere to see a friend from that's far away. Either they may come to see you, or you may go to see them. But there may be some travel involved. Also, it may even be that you announce something to your friend, or they announce something to you, like a marriage, or that they're pregnant, or something to that effect. And then between the two of you, lots of shared memories of the past. Very interesting turn of events there. Okay. So we have this, the Two of Swords, which is really talking about a possible decision or a fork in the road that you may have, especially with all of these insecurity cards here. I'm sorry to say insecurity, but that's the only word I could think. I would say these confusing cards. This one in particular, where there just isn't a focus of one particular thing, but like so many different things that you want to do, and it's so hard for you to focus. So there's a fork in the road saying, hey, we've got to focus on something. Okay, if we're not on the right track, how can we get on the right track? Another decision card, and this one is about like an incredible idea that comes to you that's really, really good. And this is something you're going to be able to like jump right into with all of your creativity. It's going to be a lot of fun for you. You're quite happy about this. But again, we have this like feeling of loss and devastation, because it's the juggling. You have too much on your plate, too much going on, and you're just not figuring it out. It's still rocky. It's still not at the place where it should be. It still needs more finessing. You still need to work out the kinks and find the right formula. Something's not right there, even with the idea that you have, which is it's like a genius idea, but it it's got some problems with it because you're doing a lot already. And here we have the waiting for your ships to come in. We talked about that at the very start, that you've been waiting for this incredible happiness to happen. Okay, you've been waiting for this. You've been working hard. You've been pushing hard. You've been trying to come up with new ideas. There's maybe even a little fatigue. You're working, though, during this whole process. All of this, you're still just doing your regular routine. You are still working. But there's a part of you that's tired of the wait, and you're ready to rush in to something that's going to change things, maybe even like shock it into some sort of success, like something that's going to give it a booster shock, and make whatever your project really experience a growth spurt. Okay, and this is all because of selfish reasons, which is natural. You want the self-satisfaction of knowing that what you're working on is meaning something. It's meaningful. And it's a culmination of the past, present, and future pains and hang-ups and things that you feared, heartbreak. It's been a long road to get to where you are. And the foundation is still so new. It's still so very new. You're still building it. And you've been putting so much discipline behind building it too, which I'm really proud of you Leos for doing that, for putting that discipline in. It's one of the formulas for success. There's a part of you that changed, and it was like, nope, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And you became a new human being. And now you're planning your future. You've thought about it. You've been getting epiphanies. And it's been helping. You've been going at it slowly but surely. You haven't been stressing out too much about it, so that way it stops you from working. I mean, you have been worried, but it hasn't stopped you. And King of Wands is this, is a CEO, someone who is a master of business, is a master of taking care of things, very highly responsible individual. That was your rebirth. Okay? You're trying to do things right, trying to make the right decisions, want that money and growth. This is what you want to turn into. King of Pentacles, the master of money. And there's a lot of work ahead. A lot of work ahead. And there's a lot of work to be done right now. And this comes into play for January being the month of so much planning. This is the planet. This is the month of doing. This is the month of doing. Chasing after this happiness here. This end of a financial cycle. Possibly the end of a cycle of wanting, of needing to make money a certain way and have more ease and more comfort. And you've been fighting for this. This has really been a struggle for you. It's not really been easy for you to come to where you are today. And you've had to make a lot of decisions that were very, very tough. And maybe even you even looked a little, for a couple people may have thought that you were harsh with some of the things that you did, but you had to do it, for your own betterment, and not because of you were doing it because you were selfish, but because you had self-love, more or less. You're just tired of taking the same old BS all the time. Okay? Sometimes it's called tough love. Yes, tough love. Tough love. And there's a sense of wanting to go out there and explore the world. Explore the world. Share, network. There's a lot of networking that you want to do. A lot of networking a lot of growth that you want to do. Expansion, have an empire. But it all feels like a burden too. It all feels like a burden. And there's a lot of play upon your insecurities and things that you like earthly desires. Let's just put them like material things and earthly desires. It has you bound to that. And you know what? For a lot of people are like, oh, that's terrible. You can't do, you can't make money and go after money because you want a fancy car. I mean, personally, myself, I don't want a fancy car. That's not something that's interesting to me. But for those people who are, come on, that's a great reason to, to work hard. It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter why to others as long as you know why. This is for you to know why. And also to make the judgment call, is it worth it? But each Leo has their own earthly pleasure or earthly bound pleasure that ties them down. It's all different. Like for some people, it's like the love and affection of their family. Or it's providing like jewelry and jewelry to their spouses, right? Or having live a certain lifestyle. For some people, it's travel. It's like the need to travel and have money for that. For some people, it's like there's a long list of reasons why Leos are bound by this. This is a normal thing for a human being. So Leos aren't, special in that arena, but it's still I'm over explaining this because I just don't want people to think that, oh, that's that's a bad thing. It's not. It's not. We all have earthly bound things that keep us, kind of ground us, or that have earthly. We all kind of have this. There's other people who are like, I don't really care, but I just want to help other people. That's something that but I just want to help other people is an abounding restraint. It's what keeps you doing what you're doing. Okay, I'm gonna move on. But relationships are such a big part of all of this. And we touched upon it a little bit over here when we were talking about possibly mending a friendship. Just and partnerships, and really, really like sharing special times with these people, you know. This is part of your desire, like sharing with people on a one-on-one basis. You know, you've got the commitment to make sure that your goals and your dreams are ready to come true. This is really closing out nicely because it's talking about your purpose, and it's also giving you some compliments at the end, if you noticed. Because we have that you're committed. It's almost like it's finishing out with a compliment. Sorry, I get really excited sometimes. But yeah, it's finishing out with a compliment. The universe is saying, yes, you're really committed to this, to changing your life and your future. You're really committed to your future. And you want to step into a new future, new world, a brand new world. You're ready to move forward on the next chapter. You're ready to turn the page. And again, you're another 10, okay? Because we started out with this. So it's almost as if money situation is about to change, or you're working on changing it in a big way, Definitely working on changing it in a big way. And this is the kind, this is the legacy card. Leaving a legacy for the world to remember you by. And so, Leos, that is the end of the reading for you for February 2020. I thank you so very much for watching, supporting, and subscribing. If you haven't, please consider doing so for Leo monthly readings. Be sure to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when my next video gets posted. Many blessings to you, my awesome Leos. And remember, this channel is for you and for you alone.